What's going on, everybody? So today we're going to set up a Strat, and you might recognize this here guitar. This is my Fender Stratocaster Mike McCready signature model. I absolutely love this guitar, and I've had it for a while. And normally, when I first get them out of the box, I do a complete setup on them, and we may have messed around with it a little bit, but I haven't really gone through it. I've just been playing it because it's really good. But you know, the longer you have something, the more comfortable you get with it, the more you play it, the more you just like, you get to know your guitar, you know what I mean? And I was like, there's a couple little things I'd like to tweak on this thing. So I figured I would take you along with me today, and let's go ahead and do a complete setup on this thing and tune up a little few things here just to make it super perfect. At least for me, right? Like, everybody's guitar setup is going to be a little different. What they want out of the guitar is going to be a little different, how they want it to feel. So there isn't really, you should have this measurement or whatever. I just know how I like my stuff. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do that on this guitar. It's going to take it from the pretty decent out-of-the-box setup that it had that was just enjoyable to play and just level everything up just a notch. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me show you what we've got here, and then we'll jump straight into it. All right, so we've got the guitar, we've got it on the mat here. We're going to check the nut height. So we've got our StewMac nut files with the little nut backer dooids on them. We've got the most hated thing in the comments, it seems like, the nut height gauge, which is freaking amazing. And if you don't have one, you should get one. We do have a set of feeler gauges, but that is going to be more for setting the string, the neck relief. I got a Phillips screwdriver here for the old saddles down there when we start to do our intonation. We've got our StewMac fret end dressing file because I feel like we need to address a couple of fret ends on there, so we're going to check that out. We've got a dummy capo that we're going to use. Of course, we've got our what are these things? The Runway Audio, but the Dylan Talks Tone exclusive cable that you can get on the website there. I like my Peterson Strobo, whatever called, tuner, and our little StewMac tool set that we're going to need to do some adjustments and stuff. So let's get into this. Before we get started, I should say that you should check out DylanTalksTone.com for all your pickup needs, because that's what we really do here. As well as there'll be links to this stuff in the description. You can use those links. It helps out the channel a little bit. Doesn't cost you any extra. If you don't want to, that's totally fine too. And if you want to just, complain in the comments about things that I'm doing, you can do that as well, because I appreciate hearing from you. Because everybody does things a little different. All right, let's jump straight into this here setup. All right, so first thing, check my neck relief. Now, the unofficial way that I do this is I just fret the first fret back here where it meets the body, and I just check the middle, kind of give it a tap. But since we're doing it in the video today, let's do it kind of the right way. And that would be to actually put a capo on the first fret and just use it as a third hand to hold down the first fret for you. And then you can come over here and use your other hand. Let me find the feeler gauge that I want. Now, a lot of guitars, I'll just set them totally flat, but this is a Strat, so. All right, yeah, the 5/1000 is about right. That's what I wanted. So basically what I'm doing is I'm fretting the last fret where it meets the body over here. And then I am basically picking somewhere right in the middle, which is right around here and right around here. And we're going for about 5/1000, which is about what it is. It's a little more than 5/1000, but I'm going to, sounds terrible to say, but I'm going to kind of call it close enough because I don't want to take the guitar all apart to change the neck relief because it's down here at the heel. So it's pretty close. I'm not worried about it. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna check our nut height. All right, so let's go ahead and work on some nut height here. I'm gonna use the cool tool that everybody thinks is so stupid till they actually use it. So we have 0, and now we push it down, and we've got 19. I'm happy with that. 21. 23. 26. That's getting a little high. 29. 28. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take our G, B, and E levels down to the other ones. All right, so let's go ahead and get our 10 out of the way and just give this a couple of passes. And check it. Zero, press down, perfect. Let's go on to our B string. You notice we're not using a lot of pressure here, we're just got a little snag to it. I should clean that out anyway. All right. Zero, press down. Let's bring that down a little more, plus we could probably use to clean that out just a little bit. Yeah. Using our 13 file. That feels better. Nice. Whoops. That's better. And then this last one. Perfect. All right, so we've got our nut height nice and cleaned up and within spec, so I dig that. Let's go ahead and move on to string height. All right, so we're going to use the same tool, obviously. We're going to zero this. Whoa, 93. Holy smokes, man. 90. All right. Must have been pulling on a little bit there. 86. Jeez, this is high. 72. All right, so all this is going to come down. I don't like how high any of that is. So let's just grab our StewMac little tool set here. Get the right bit in here. All right. So let's put this back on here. 70. I'm going to bring this down to 60, and I'm going to do it evenly on both sides. 58. I'm going to call that 60. We're going to come over here to the B string. Bring that down 10 thousandths. A little more. All right, and we're gonna go here. 80, holy smokes, man. Just goes to show you, you get a new guitar and you play it and you think it's fun. Doesn't really matter how it's set up, it just plays good. But then you put your own tools on it, spend some time on it, really make it yours, it'll be that much better. $68. Little too low. That's what I like about using this thing. You can really get super finite with your measurements. You know, a lot of people, oh, I can do it better with a feeler gauge. No, you can't. No, you can't. I'm going to take these two strings down to 65, probably. Or 70. 70 is fine too. Yeah, we're just going to take these down to 70. Because I kind of play hard like that, so that'll work. $74. Just make sure I'm not pushing on it at all. 67. Let me go back up a little bit. All right, we'll call that good. Cool. String height is done. One of the other things I wanted to do is I wanted to take my little fret dressing file here, and they're pretty good, but I want to just take them and go over them real quick and just make sure that we don't have any hard edges. I'm just going to run down. This fret file is super sweet because it's fine enough to not make a mess of anything, but it also gets the job done. We're just going to dress them off just a little bit. I just want to, there was a couple of them here that I remember thinking that I just wanted to hit. It wasn't, they're not terrible, but I just wanted to hit them. Perfect. Yeah. I don't actually make my money up at this height side of the fretboard, but yeah, when you can feel them, you can feel them. So let's just take a few minutes, clean them up. You can see that it's not really taking me that long, just to give them a little touch. All right, let's go around, do this bottom side, because there's one here, one here, one here, and one here. We'll go ahead and get this bottom side cleaned up. All right, so when I'm doing this, I'm not using any downward pressure, just using the weight of the file. Okay, and that's all. It's just taking these little edges off. That, you know, sometimes you need to do a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Nice. You notice I'm not sawing away on this, just taking a little bit of time. Go down the end of that one. Now, again, I'm not saying that this guitar was bad, but since it's mine and I can make it amazing, that's what I'm going to do. You know, sometimes after you have a guitar for a while, you start to realize, oh, I could make this just a little better. And that's what we're doing here. Am I ever actually going to notice unless I sit here and feel this stuff? Maybe not, but it doesn't matter. It's mine, and it's kind of therapeutic to go through this and make it all perfect the way I like it. Now, I say that specifically the way I like it because you might want it a little different, but that's kind of the beauty of having these tools on hand, is to be able to take all your guitars and just kind of make them how you want. I've got other guitars that I don't know that I would actually finish them the same way. I would do things a little differently. You can go guitar to guitar and get each of the guitars to feel specifically the way you want, which is kind of cool. Awesome. All right. Now this is sort of taking a break from our regular setup. We have one more setup thing to do, and that is set the intonation on the guitar. So we're going to do that next. All right, so let's go ahead and set the intonation on this thing. First of all, we just want to make sure that this thing is really well in tune. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to just fret the 12th fret. Now, here's how this works. When you're looking at the tuner, if the tuner goes this way, then when you're fretted on the 12th fret, so if I go like this, and the tuner were to move this way, then we would move the saddle this way. If the tuner were to go that way, see, because I'm facing the tuner on a right-handed guitar, so if the tuner were to go that way, then the saddle needs to go that way. If the tuner goes this way, then the saddle needs to go this way. It's just an easy way to remember it. So trying to show you at the same time, but face correctly so we can, so here we go. So that's pretty good. B. See how that's creeping that way? Let's just make sure that this is in tune perfectly. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So maybe these might have crept flat just a little bit. So let's just make sure. Oh, see how that one's creeping flat? So if we're facing the tuner, if it goes this way, then we need to make the saddle go that way. Yep, a little bit, not much. So I'm going to take my screwdriver, I'm going to put it in my saddle adjustment, and I am going to loosen it a little bit, and that's going to move the saddle this way to go with the motion of the tuner. Now what I'm going to do when I'm loosening, I'm going to give it a little shove so that the saddle gets pushed, because sometimes it won't move. So now let's check it again. We're going to have to retune it. Perfect. D. E is probably going to be out. E is always out a little bit. Let's just double check it. The tuning on it. Yep. That one's drifting way flat. See it? Well, flat enough for me to want to do something about it. So we're going to go ahead and loosen this. Give it a little shove. That way the saddle moves like you want it to. Retune it. Perfect. Cool. This thing is super fun. You know, it was good before. It was really good before. But now it's just a little better. It's fun to take a guitar and like make a good guitar better just by making it yours. You know what I mean? Now I might hand this guitar to you and you might not like the way it plays at all. But it doesn't matter because it's mine, right? And so that's what's kind of fun about personalizing a setup to you. Let me know in the comments what you like. I'll just tell you what I like on a guitar. I like my neck relief to be completely flat. On a Strat, sometimes I don't, so I left it at a little bit over 5 thousandths on this one. But usually I like my neck relief to be completely flat. I like my nut height to be 20-ish thousandths, somewhere right in there, 20 to 23 thousandths. It's 20. They're all 23 here. And then I like my string height to be 60 thousandths, 60 thousandths, 60 thousandths, and then maybe 65 thousandths on the top, the low E and the low A. That way gives me a little extra room for, you know what I mean? And then of course set your intonation properly and etc. Rounded off the fret ends just a little bit on this particular guitar, and it's sounds and plays and super fun. I love it. I absolutely love it. So let me know what your personal preferences are, how you like to set your electric guitars up. Do you like them to be all the same? You know, my Les Paul is not set up the same as this, for sure. My PRSs are definitely not set up the same as this, and my Tele is way different than this. So it just kind of gives you some idea that each guitar should and can be a little different, or can and should be, I guess. So yeah, get in the comments and let me know what you do, because there's no wrong answer, right? I think that's the most important part of this. There's no wrong answer. It's just a matter of getting it the way you want it. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. There will be links to all this stuff in the description, links to the pickups. We have a set of pickups based on this guitar coming out very, very soon. I'm working on them right now, so stay tuned for that. I want to also thank all my Patreon supporters for supporting the channel, making videos like this possible. You can check out patreon.com/DylanTalksTone. You can become a YouTube member. You can do all that stuff. And if nothing else, just watch some more videos and maybe share them with your friends. And, oh, hit the subscribe button because we're getting close to about 100,000 subscribers, which is kind of cool. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you in the next video.